Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be going over your project building a boilerplate. So let's get into some tips that I feel like would help you guys a lot, especially if you're a beginner. So we're doing the building a boilerplate lab. If this is your first time using Terminal or CodeRoad, don't stress out. This project is a lot more about learning and discovering and being repetitive rather than being fast and quick and just finishing right away. So here's some mistakes to watch out for while you do the project that'll help it go a lot smoother and help you learn a lot faster. So first, some common mistakes to avoid is spelling and capitalization errors. So just be aware that the terminal is case sensitive. So if you have this instead of this, just know that that's not the same thing. One missing letter can cause a step to fail, and Free Code Camp is really specific about capitalization and spelling errors. And if you're getting an error and not realizing why, double check your spelling and capitalization because that really matters when it comes to these programs. Also, extra spaces. I know they're hard to catch because you can barely even notice the difference between this and this, but extra spaces count as errors. So commands might break if you have an extra space in between two words. So also be aware that if you're copying and pasting something, make sure there's no extra space in between anything that you're copying and pasting because that'll give you an error as well. You also want to make sure you're not running commands in the wrong folder. So always check where you're using PWD. If you're in the wrong directory, CodeRoad won't count that step. So make sure everything you're doing is in the correct directory. Make sure you're saving before exiting. A lot of issues I've seen previously was because students were forgetting to save before they leave and their progress wasn't saved, so they had to kind of go back a step or do something over again. Also, another thing I want to tell you guys to watch out for is accidentally overwriting your files. So make sure that if you use the greater than symbol, that replaces file content, and two greater than symbols adds to the file. So mixing these up can erase your work, so just be careful if you're using those symbols. Next, skipping steps. Even if you think you know something, still do the step. CodeRoad often checks that you completed something, so even though you might already know something or you're just tired of repeating a step, it's honestly just best to do the step anyways because CodeRoad checks to see if you've done that step. And if you skip anything, you're more than likely gonna have to just go back and do it anyways. Also, I want to go over the best ways to make the most out of these projects. I know they can get really repetitive, but honestly, typing everything out instead of copying and pasting helps with your learning process a lot more. Copying and pasting is also very helpful because if you do something correctly and you know how to do something, copying and pasting makes things go by faster. But if you really want to learn, you're going to type everything out yourself. Also, I really want to encourage you guys to check your work often. So if you use LS, you can see your files and you can check what you have so far. And then lastly, when you get an error message, read through the whole error message because these error messages really tell you what you might have done wrong. And instead of skimming them, it can be super helpful just to look and see everything that the error message is telling you. Because you might be missing something that you're not doing, and it tells you exactly what you might be missing in the error message. So overall, this project isn't about perfection. It isn't about getting it done quickly. It's about learning how real developers set things up from scratch. Getting comfortable with the terminal now will make everything else easier later. So with that being said, I hope you guys really enjoy this project. I hope everything's going well so far with it. If you need any additional help, feel free to email me, and good luck.